I think I was one of the first people that spoke with Mr. Brady after I found out that became aware of the DUI that he had. I guess it would be in 2007 if I had to guess. I had him over to my establishment. We probably spoke for an hour and 15 minutes. What I tried to tell Mr. Brady is that having been through what you're going through right now, it is very unpleasant and it is ugly. The reason I say that is because earlier Mr. Shad referred to the mayor having a DUI, and Mr. Shad is 100% correct. In 1996, I received a DUI. In all honesty, it was pure stupidity on my part. I have said before, it's not the one I got, it was the hundreds I didn't get, and that's the honest to God truth. Mr. Brady, in your case, I think it was a blessing in disguise you got it. I think you were spiraling downward. It probably saved your life, to be honest with you. And you tell me you haven't had a drink in 2 years? I admire you for that. If you had a problem, you admitted it. I didn't think I had a problem. I don't think I have a problem today. I just did something stupid one time. No, not one time. I take it back. I did it numerous times, but I did get caught. That's the biggest problem. So in regards to what Mr. Shad was saying about the mayor, it's 100% correct. I did get a DUI, but the difference between myself and Mr. Brady is that in 1996, I would probably imagine I was on probation for 2 or 3 years, just like you are, Mr. Brady. I did my AA meetings, DUI classes, paid my fines, restricted license for 2 or 3 years. I don't remember the whole thing because it was 13 years ago. But when I ran for city council in 2003 and 2007, what I did was one of the first things was I approached Will Rogers at the Burbank Leader, and I approached the Burbank Police Officers Association and handed them a pamphlet on the skeletons in my closet. Was I proud to do it? No. But I knew it would come out. And I'm glad I did it, because the last thing you ever want to do is get caught lying to Will Rogers, because he'll crucify you. And back in those days, I'm glad that I did it. Am I proud of what happened? No. It happened. It's going to happen to a lot of people. President of the United States, Mr. Bush got when he was younger too. So my problem isn't the DUI, Mr. Brady. One of my problems is the probation. That's the honest to God truth. Now, you made a statement earlier, and I'd like to ask Mr. Chief Steer if I could just ask him something, and you may not be aware of it, or you may be aware of it. Was that Mr. Brady stated that he had been on ride-alongs. Now, it was my understanding that you stated earlier one time that to get into a police car to go on a ride-along, they're going to run a background check on you and all that stuff. Mr. Brady stated that he has been on a ride-along. Has that happened in the last 2 years?
I don't know.
To your knowledge, you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, and I understand.
I believe he would have been checked, and it probably wouldn't have occurred in the last 2 years.
Okay, I'm looking at Mr. Brady. Do you know any chance you could just raise your hand and say, have you been on a ride-along in the last 2 years since you've been on probation? Mr. Brady, just raise your hand for me. Yes or no? Yes? Raise your hand. Mr. Brady, yes or no?
I was on a ride-along when I was at the police academy.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brady, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Brady. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I asked you a question, and you just sat back. Thank you, Chief. It sounds to me like in the last 2 years you haven't been on a ride-along with the city. Mr. Brady, you've had your 5 minutes. I gave you extra time. I'd love to give you more time. But one of the things that bothered me, too, is your comments in the newspaper. 2, 3, 4 days you've been on the commission, and you made those comments that Councilman Telemontes referred to. Not only did you make those comments, but you made a comment about referring to the police chief worrying about to save his job. I thought, boy, that's kind of strange for a new commissioner to be making comments like that. So what I did was I called the reporter for the Burbank Leader, Chris, who's sitting out there. And I asked him, are you sure you're 100% right, those statements that Mr. Brady made? And he told me, yes, they were. And he asked you 2 or 3 times if you were sure about those statements. And he said, yes, you were. and the reporter's out there right now, and I have no problem about our conversation. It wasn't in confidentiality or something like that, because I was truly concerned about those. So with all this being said, I don't have a problem with the DUI. I've been there. I've lived through it. It's terrible. I was hoping it would never come up again, and I'm sure in my next final 2 years on council here, someone will bring it up again. Doesn't surprise me at all. That's the way people are. But it's the probation that bothers me too, sir. I wish that you could hire an attorney and run back and go to that judge and say, I've been Gordon Good Guy for the last 2 years. Can you reduce my probation down to 2 years? And I wish a judge could do something like that. But your probation was for 3 years. And because of that, that's the only reason that I can't support to keep you on the police commission at this time. It is not a personal attack on you in any way. Your family history, your mother, yourself in this city speaks for itself, no question about it. Unfortunately, because of a 1-year technicality on a probation, I think it's going to affect your ability, not your ability, but for you to serve on our police commission. And that's what truly bothers me the most. So, with that being said, Dr. Gordon?